Rounders is one of the most universally loved and appreciated poker movies of all time, but that doesn't mean that it's without errors. Of course, there's plenty of errors in there that we're not going to have in this video, but I talked to some professional poker players to see what they see wrong in some of these scenes from Rounders. Now, the poker players you're going to see are Chris Moorman, who's won more than $11 million online, and Martin Jacobson, who won the World Series of Poker main event. Just a quick public service announcement before we get into these clips and before we get into the analysis. Just so everyone knows, to make a bet, you should never put the bet in, take your hand back, and put the bet in again. If you're going to make a bet, you have to put one sweeping motion, put the chips in at the same time, and please, I'm sorry, Teddy KGB, but do not splash the pot. Just put the chips in and leave them in their stacks if you can. In researching this video, I watched tons of scenes of poker from both television and film. The second very important public service announcement for everyone is that you should never say, I call and I raise.
I will see you and I'll raise you.
If you're gonna call, just say call. If you're gonna raise, just say raise. But don't say, I call your ex and I raise you X. Just a few little tips for those, just in case it's your first time at the poker table. Now let's get into it.
Okay. Well, you were looking for that third three, but you forgot that Professor Green folded it on 4th Street, and now you're representing that you have it. The DA made his two pair, but he knows they're no good. Judge Kaplan was trying to squeeze out a diamond flush, but he came up short, and Mr. Eisen is futilely hoping that his queens are going to stand up. So, like I said, the dean's bet is $20.
Well, kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass.
Okay, in this scene of Rounders, Matt Damon walks in to the judges' game. 6 judges playing draw poker. And somehow instantly he knows everyone's cards from watching one round of betting, which is impossible. No poker player would know that.
Like Papa Wallenda said, life is on the wire. The rest is just waiting.
Pass it, Nino. I had a raise. Raise 500.
Fold. It's a position raise, I call it.
Here's the beauty of this game.
Go ahead.
I just got top 2 pair on the flop, and I want to keep him in the hand. Against your average guy, I'd set a bear trap, hardly bet at all, let him walk into it. But KGB's too smart for that. So what I've got to do is overbet the pot, make it look like I'm trying to buy it.
Bet 2,000.
Then he plays back at me, and I get paid off.
Cool.
My guess is Teddy's on a flush draw.
Baron in Terran.
There's my money card, 9 of hearts. I got a full house.
Choose better.
Check's good. Now I hope a spade falls and Teddy makes his flush. That way he'll bet strong and I'll beat him with my 9s full over aces.
I'm gonna bet. Bet 15,000.
Time.
I want him to think that I'm pondering a call, but all I'm really thinking about is Vegas and the fucking Mirage.
All right, you're 15, plus I have another 33 to raise you. Yeah, I'm gonna go all in because I don't think you got the spades.
You're right. I don't have spades.
I know before the cards are even turned over.
Aces, full, Mike.
So the beginning scene around us is Matt Damon playing Teddy KGB. They get into a big hand. The whole premise of the movie really is that Matt Damon got outplayed and he has to make a comeback and come back a better player.
What?
I put it all on the line, that's true. And you know what? It wasn't a bad beat. I wasn't unlucky. I got outplayed. I got outplayed that time. But I know I'm good enough to sit at that table.
When in reality, it was just a massive cooler. There was one hand that beat him. Every poker player's gonna go broke there.
Down to the felt, Kanish. I lost everything. Man, I lost my case money. I lost my tuition.
Happens to everyone. Time to time, everyone goes bust.
The main issue really was that he was just playing above his bankroll. He brought all his money to the table and, you know, just got unlucky, which is more... It's not... The problem is, though, obviously that's not a very exciting story, so I can see why they changed it all and...
Be a judgment, but...
Don't you worry, son. It will all be over soon.
Check.
No tricks here. I tipped you.
So the poker scene in Rounders are a lot of entertaining and but at the same time they're not very realistic from a professional poker player's point of view. They're basically decided to focus on the psychological and tell-based side of the game and don't really bring up any any part of probability and coolers or math because obviously the tells and stuff is more enjoyable for the casual viewer to watch and it makes a better film. So this limit scene is a really interesting one. It's not very realistic at all, actually.
About 8-9 months ago, I'm at the Taj and it's late and I see Johnny Chan walk in. And he goes, he sits 300, 600. And, you know, the whole place stops when Johnny Chan walks in. Everybody puts an eye on him. I mean, after a little while, you know, there wasn't a crap game going because all the high rollers are over there watching. And some of them are sitting there playing. When they're giving away their money to this guy to say, oh, I played with a world champion. And you know what I did?
What?
I sat down.
No, you need 50, 60 grand to play right in that game.
Well, I had 6. But I had to know.
What happened?
Played tight for an hour. I folded mostly, and then I made a score.
Because Matt says that he's been sitting there for an hour and he bought in with 10 big blinds and he's been folding all this time. And somehow he has a bunch of chips and it's not realistic because if you've been folding a lot of times and if you only bought in with 10 big blinds and you've been sitting there for an hour, you wouldn't have any chips left.
White aces or kings?
Rags. I had nothing. But he raised, and I just decided, you know, I don't care about the money. I'm just going to outplay the guy. I'm just going to outplay this guy this hand. I'll re-raise.
Re-raise? You play right back at him, huh?
Oh, yeah. And he just comes right back over the top of me trying to bully me like I'm some fucking tourist. I hesitate for like 2 seconds. I'll re-raise. And he makes a move toward his checks and he looks at me. And then he looks at his cards and he looks at me again. And he mucked it. I took it down. Did you have it? I'm sorry, John. I don't remember.
Now, as Martin said, we're assuming that Matt Damon's entering this hand with maybe 10 big blinds at best, and yet he's still able to 5-bet into Johnny Chan, and Johnny Chan doesn't make the call. Now, I'm not a limit expert, but I would have to imagine with that much in the pot already that Johnny Chan would have to have a certain amount of equity. But even if he's making that fold, to be able to 5-bet Johnny Chan with 10 big blinds doesn't really make a lot of sense.